thanks for attending this webinar. I'm glad you guys are here. Last time we did take almost up to the full hour, so I'm just going to get right into it so we have time at the end for questions. The homepage, which is what I'm on right now, it's been simplified a lot. It's basically telling who we are, and it's a portal into the rest of the site. So nothing else will be added to this site. I really like just a simplified look for a homepage. And I'm going to go to the Find a Meeting page. So there's not really much to say about the homepage here, but the Find a Meeting page with the redesign, really the only thing that changed was the header up here, and all this down here is still the same. My goal, though, is to not have this full list of links, but have this map a lot bigger and have it be interactive, so when people click on a district, then these links will pop up. So that's something that is in the works. Not sure yet when I'll have that up, but that's my plan for this page. Area events definitely are on top since it's the Area 9 website. And I've also added in a section for district events, which district webmasters are sending in flyers. Sometimes district reps are sending me the flyers. But I really love this because hopefully it gets more people to go to the district events, since some districts are, on the border with other ones, and it's not too far for other people to drive, and they can find out about it by going to the area website. So hopefully we'll get more participation and more harmony. So, and what I mean by district events, I want to clarify that these are events that are big events put on by the entire district. So not so much like speaker meetings or individual group anniversaries. These are a big district effort kind of event that I like to showcase here. And then, of course, the big international event, the big dance is what I'm calling it. It's coming up soon. It's going to be here and gone, and then I'll remove it from the website. So the calendar page is next. It's a little different than the events page. It used to be just in a pinboard, agenda view, but now we have it defaulting to a monthly view. And I'll go to August because there's a lot going on in August and show you the difference. So here you are with the monthly view. And I've got some color coding going on, and I'll explain the color coding. Blue is anything that is an area meeting, such as AWSC or assembly. If it's in red, it'll be, red is usually for Alateen. So I've given red to Alateen training events, or like the Alateen conference, which I believe is in July. That's coming up too, right there, the Alateen conference. Going back to August, anything is green is a district event, and you can see district event down here is a little tag for that. And I'll usually put what the workshop is and then the city. So I always try to put the city after the event. That kind of helps. Some people, if I put District 10, they won't know right away what District 10 is, but they'll know Orlando or Jacksonville. Let's see. Oh, if it's a convention, it'll be purple, because I figured blue for Al-Anon and red for Alateen. Blue and red together makes purple. so any area 9. Now you can see how my mind works, right? Any area 9 convention will be in purple, and then everything else is yellow. So here, for example, is it's a convention, but it's actually Florida South in West Palm Beach. So anything outside of area 9, or that is maybe like the Florida State Convention that has Al-Anon participation, I've put that as yellow for other. You can barely read it, but it says other right there. The other thing I want to point out too is that when you can click on the actual item, And let's see. I usually will have links there, or if there's a flyer, let me go to one that has a flyer because you'll be able to see it on the top right corner. Let me go to maybe the conflict resolution workshop. When flyers are sent, I can attach them as well up here in the right-hand corner. And you can share this with your friends or save it in your calendar, email your event details to yourself right from here, which is really nice. Let me go back here and I'll just show you briefly the different layouts you can choose from because it defaults to monthly. The previous one we used to have look like this, so this may look familiar to you. And some people, when they're viewing it on their phone, they like looking at this in agenda view. But you'll notice it doesn't keep the color coding. It changes everything to just blue and kind of black text. And then we have Pinboard. And that looks a little bit different too. And maybe again, it's whatever your fancy is. You can look at it any which way you want, but our current default is a monthly view layout. So we'll go to the Spanish page next. And this is Espanol. And right now it's asking me to translate this page. I'm going to say no for now, because that's something I'll show you a little bit later. But this page is in Spanish for the most part. And Evelyn, our Spanish coordinator, has been working really hard to keep this page updated and current. And just about last week, we added this section here, which is social media links for Spanish social media. So Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I decided to add all those links as well to the very bottom of every page, everything here in black. This is called the footer. So this shows up on every page. So we've got the social media icons for English, but then we also have social media icons for Spanish as well, if you want to check those out. Or if you have anybody that speaks Spanish in your group that you want to point that out to. That's brand new as of last week. So let's go to the resources page. If you're doing any research, this is probably the main page you're going to be on. And it's separated into two sections. So we've got the non-password protected part right here. And then the second part here, budgets, minutes, and motions, and the archives. Those are all currently under the password protected site. And our password to get into that is the same as the password we used from the previous panel. And since I'm not sure where this video is going to go, I'm not going to give the password out in this video, but you can always contact a member from panel 58 to get that password. So what I want to show you here is something I really like that is new for this panel, which is a members pages section. And we've always had the area delegate page, the delegates corner, but now we have pages for every position, and eventually hopefully we'll have secretary and treasurer over here as officers. The area alternate delegate page, that's still in the works. I'm hoping maybe we'll have that up by next week. Elsa and I have been working on that, but it's not, it's like 80% there. So if you're getting this video in August and you're watching this video in August, or I'm saying July, I should say in July, hopefully that page will be up and ready to go. But I do want to highlight the one that we had recently. This is the area chairperson page, which we're calling the chairperson's nook. And very animal friendly, as you can tell. And one of the things you can look around here on this page, one of the things I really want to highlight though is this section, because this is another first for panel 58, is a section for Ask It Basket. Previously you had to wait until an area meeting to submit your Ask It Basket questions, but now you can submit it anytime you want, and it's completely anonymous. So you just click on Submit Questions. And the only required section of this is the first question. So you have to type in whatever your question is, and you don't need to fill out those, and that's why it's completely anonymous. But if you would like to be contacted, you can definitely put your name and your email address and any other comments. And then you would just hit submit. Yeah, you just hit submit, and this goes directly to the area chairperson. And then the nice thing is, once that, I leave that page, yeah, because I don't want to send the FD to the area chairperson. But the nice thing is, she'll review it, and responses will be put together on a document. And then we've now created this section for questions that have been answered. So there's a document here for a question on dominance, and another document specifically for dominance in a home group. So as we get more questions submitted and more response documents, we'll probably maybe put, I don't know how many questions we'll put on here, or answers, I should say. But then again, you don't have to wait for the area assembly meeting or area AWC meeting to get your response. So it's a little more interactive, I would say. And again, this page will always be changing because we'll be adding more stuff, always adding area news information. So it's a page to check back on pretty regularly. Also, if you want to contact her directly, you can use this. And so far, I haven't heard of any robots trying to use this button. So we're going to try that out and make sure that, if we have anything squirrely happening to it, I might need to remove the button. But, viruses are starting to be sent. But so far, so good. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. But basically, the members pages are, let me go back to members pages. They're a way for us to communicate with members or GRs or just any members in general. One of the things I also want to point out is the Public Outreach Coordinator page. This is also pretty recent. And it's a place where the coordinator can list their goals, what their mission is, what they do, and projects they're working on. For example, our outreach coordinator had an outreach survey that was open for a couple of months. And you could just submit your outreach ideas. You don't have to be anybody in a service position. You could just be a regular Al-Anon member that goes to meetings and says, hey, I just want to complete this survey and say, this is my public outreach idea. And she'll get with her committee and consider it for a project for 2019. And eventually she'll have a section here for professionals that when she's reaching out to professionals, she can have them go directly to her webpage and see what information they can get here. And right now it's TBD. She's working with WSO to find out what stuff we can put on there and have it still be okay and not infringing on any copyright. So that's another page to check back on later for more information. That's always going to be changing, and there's a way to contact her directly if you have questions about how to do public outreach or what she's working on if you'd like to help her out. So the next page I want to show you is under resources. I'll click on budgets, minutes, and motions, and I just want you to know that it's not going to ask me for the password because I prepped for the webinar and I put the password in already, so it remembers it as a cookie. So it'll take me directly to it. But if you're at home and you haven't put in the password yet, you'll get that password request little box to fill in. But this is budgets, minutes, and motions page. If you've never seen it before, this is panel 58. We've only had a couple of meetings, so that's what's listed there for minutes and treasurer's checkbook worksheets. But eventually it'll be full and complete, like panel 55, with all the stuff that they've worked on that are password protected. So this is a great place too for doing research. And I want to point out the area meetings and reports page. If the button is grayed out, it only means that I'm no longer adding any information to those pages. So I consider it sort of an archived button. If it's got a blue button, usually that means it's still active and things are being changed and added to it. So I want to show you panel 55 because eventually panel 58 page will look like this. And I just wanted to show you that all the meetings are sorted chronologically, that the newest one is always on top. So that was the very last meeting of panel 55. And this is the resources that they used, panel assignments, knowledge-based decision-making, and AFG copyright law. So you can click onto any of these if you want to look at individual meetings and reports that were turned in for those meetings. They're red light, green light. So now that you've seen panel 55, let me show you panel 58. And click the blue button. So we have just a little bit of a change because we've added this column for the ease of booking a hotel room. If I click this, I'll go directly to the hotel that our meetings are at to book a room. And it also has the booking deadline here and a booking deadline for October and the booking code. So eventually when those have passed, this whole column will go away, and then we'll have the 2 columns for meetings and resources. And currently the most recent meeting we've had was the assembly in May. So eventually this one will be going gray, and I'll start another button for the upcoming AWSC in August. I'll get that page going, and once I know things are going to be added to it. But I wanted to show you something here specifically about the meetings page, because I got a question once about, well, when is the breakfast buffet happening at the assembly? And I thought, oh, I can point them to the agenda, because that answers the question of when breakfast is, when anything is. It's all laid out on the agenda. And the agenda will always be the very first document under documents. It's something that people need to get to right away. It's always going to live in this spot. And the second thing that's always going to live right underneath the agenda is the in preparation document. And this document is crucial because it has a lot of the deadlines for when reports are due. It's a document that is emailed out by the area chairperson. But if you ever can't find it in your email, the current version is always going to be posted here, yes, under the agenda for documents. And sometimes this will go through several revisions, new information comes in. So it's always going to be the current one on the website. If you're ever not sure, just go to the website and check it out there. We created a new section, because we know everyone's busy. There's a section here called To Be Voted On. So if, the group reps are definitely the ones doing the voting. So if you're a group rep, or you can have a group rep, have them focus on this section if they're pressed for time. Say, at least please look at these 2 documents or however many documents are here, because we like to have them, do their due diligence. And sometimes these documents can be lengthy for stuff that needs to be voted on. And it's better to spend time reading them before you come to the event. So you're not trying to skim through during the actual meeting, because I know I've done that. So I'm telling you from experience, read them before you come in. Same with reports. If you've got the time to read those too before you come in, that's great. They're all right there. We've got some thought forces and task forces as well, information that will be posted here. And when they're completed, I'll put them down here, because these eventually will become, documents for, and actually that should say documents for October Assembly, not AWC, so I'll be changing that because AWC is in August. And recommendations. So we've already had a task force complete their assignment, and that's the result there. Talking about results, which is all this section here, results. Red light, green light. And red light, green light is another thing that's going to be on the alternate delegate webpage, because she's the one putting that together. So she's going to have a button that you can submit red light, green light questions anytime. Again, just like submitting the Ask a Basket questions, there will be a similar form for submitting red light, green light questions. But the really cool thing is this is something that the secretary's been working on, and his target is by the end of the month to send me the transcribed responses from individual members. So yeah, so this is the research document posted by the district that took on the willingness to do all the research for the question. But afterwards, after the research is presented, we open the mic to various members, whoever wants to come up and give their response. And all that is going to be kept anonymous. It's just going to probably say member number 1 said this, member number 2 said that. So that will be posted as well under this results section. So that will be searchable as well for what people thought about that research. And we've never had access to that before. We just kind of, it was just kind of lost. If you heard it at the meeting, then you were lucky to hear it. But now we can show the responses from the members as well for everybody to see, which is going to be great. Let's see, moving on. I did want to point out this is also a new thing, the interactive reimbursement form. It's new to panel 58, that where you can just type into the document and then whatever, you know, well, I guess this would be more cost, $50 for gas. But you can type right into the document, and then you can save it as a PDF and email it to the treasurer. And you can see in my preview, it saves all the information. And this, I do want to point out, though, that this form is only for members that need to be reimbursed by the area treasurer. If a GR is attending, they'll be reimbursed by their district. And I did go over this form with district webmasters to say, hey, this is something you guys can do at the district level if you want to get away from printing the paper form and just do the save and email. I do want to say, though, that if you're using an Apple or an Android phone or like a tablet, you just need to have the Adobe Acrobat app installed in order to be able to type into the fields. And the other thing is, a lot of times, again, at the assemblies, I'll hear people say, let me close out of these. I'll hear people say, oh, it's on the website, it's on the website. So when they do that, my tip is go directly to the search box on the bottom of every page and say, if we're talking about that interactive web form or reimbursement form, you can type in the word interactive and it'll pull up, gotta spell it correctly. There is no spelling, spell check here on the website. I wish I could put that on there. But it pulls it recognizes, okay, it caught that text. So it's from Assembly May 2018. And then there it is right there. So the search box is definitely your friend. And the search box, again, is at the bottom of every page. Just realize it's good for locating certain text within the website just on the surface. But yeah, when they say, oh, it's on the site, go straight to the search box. A couple of things that are new since the last assembly we had. we do have a translation button now down here that will do 140, I think it's 104 languages. I'm showing 104 languages. Previously it was just English and Spanish, and so I wanted to go back to the Espanol page. And if you've ever wanted to see what this page looks like in English, if you don't have this drop down there, you can go down to the translation box and we'll say translate this. It'll translate the whole site into English, but this page specifically into English. So there you go. It says welcome and instead of bienvenidos. And I thought it was interesting because I could see now what the meeting names were when they were translated into English. So pretty nifty. And when you do the translation, it'll give you this option up here to go back to original. So we'll go back to original. It switches it back. And then you can close out of it here if you like. But I thought it was kind of fun when I was messing around with it that I thought, well, what does our site look like, maybe in simplified Chinese, just for kicks. And there you go. Yeah, pretty neat. And I do want to point out that like the search box, the translation box only translates the surface text. So it does not translate like PDF documents. Let me go back to original. Like if I went back to the Spanish page and wanted these flyers translated, it does not do that. It won't translate the PDFs, just the surface text. One of the questions I get is, where is Alateen? And it's a very valid question. Currently, Alateen is under members pages for either the area Alateen coordinator or area Alateen person, because I'm hoping that we'll have 2 Alateen pages, again, both serving different purposes. Maybe ones that an Amias and Al-Anon member involved in Alateen service would go to. Currently, though, they have a button. If you go onto either of the Alateen pages, there's a button that takes you back to the previous Panel 55 Alateen page. So I know that the Alateen coordinators, they've been working this, first couple of quarters, they've been swamped trying to get everybody certified. So they're, and we got the Alateen conference coming up. So I think these pages for Alateen coordinator and area Alateen process person, I know they want to get their pages up. They're just saying, give us some time because they got to get all these other ducks in a row and stuff sent off to WSO, which I imagine for every panel is hectic in the very beginning for them, especially. So, so that's the Alateen answer right there. So now I'd like to open it for any questions for stuff maybe I didn't cover, since we got a few minutes here, 13 minutes left or so. I would love a PDF. So a portable document file. Usually that's because all the formatting will stay the same. Sometimes if I'm sent a Word document and then I convert it into a PDF, there's always a chance that maybe something will be lost. And I don't want to be like second guessing myself. I'd rather have the final form be sent to me as a PDF already finalized. Unless it's a document where you would like my input or maybe formatting help or something like that, where I need to get in and edit it, then it's best to send it as a Word document, or you could share it with me on your Google Drive as a Google Doc. Eventually we'll be doing more webinars. We'll be doing webinars on Google Docs, on Google Hangouts. That's actually going to be the next one next month. So we can go over tips and tricks and things that I've learned along the way that I feel I could pass on. So, maybe it'll help out, but yeah, I'm always here if you guys need to reach out to me for any silly question, that, because there's no silly questions. If it's something you're struggling with, just realize you don't have to struggle. You can always reach out, and if we can, we'll do a video call so I can maybe see your screen or see what you're working on, or we'll share a document so I can see what's going on in the document. Absolutely. Yeah, and you can do the Instagram account that WSO has. Let me go back to the footer page. And they even have a YouTube account for WSO. So any of these links you see that are popping up on the bottom left-hand side of the screen when I hover over them, you can copy those over, and it'll take you to like the WSO YouTube channel that I think I haven't been on for a while, but I was glad to see that they. I think they don't have this in Spanish just yet, but they do have their the Instagram and Facebook in Spanish, which I was really happy about. So yeah, lots of videos there too. Yeah, you can definitely link any district site to those icons for sure. Any other questions? Anything at all?